alone. Keep me safe, far from home. And I will guide you. Hold me up when I'm feeling down. Hold me close when I'm all alone. Keep me safe, far from home.
Far from home. Hello, welcome everybody. That was my fun new little intro, and I have more coming. I got my little tea ready. So today, welcome in. Hi everybody. A little late. Was of course running with some technical difficulties. And I just got this boba, and I'm so excited. Okay, so welcome in. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you all for being in here. And thank you all for coming on the replay. Clearly just threw my hair up and didn't think about this, but good, let's go. So we get to talk with Apostate Alex today about many of things, but definitely the protests in England and all of that. And I have a bunch of questions for him, so here we go. Hello, Apostate Alex.
Proud SP.
Yes, proud SP.
How's it going?
Good. How are you? I mean, good. You know what? Good, because things are going, even though it's going wild. I don't know if you've been caught up in all the things that I've been, whatever, but it feels like even though some of this is hard, or I'm going to deal with I'm dealing with a bunch, I think that it's going in the right direction. So yeah, overall, I think I'm doing good. How about you?
Yeah, it's a long haul fight, that's for sure.
Your shirt is so funny. I don't know why.
Do you see what it says?
Is it one of your merch shirts? It must
it
be,
is. It says we come back.
Oh my God. Don't we? Don't we?
Despite Scientology's best efforts to stop us, we come back.
Period. You know, that was the agreement. Oh my goodness. Okay, so speaking of we come back, Scientology, OSA, and all them, they got to certain people that got to my job where I was let go of my job and all of that. I don't know. I know that you went through some fair gaming and still are, and there's like, I won't even mention the site, which, you know, that'll be dealt with soon, but you are on multiple of videos I see on this site that somebody randomly showed me. Oh, Laura, did you know this video? And I was like, oh, I don't care about that. And I'm like, this is literally straight out of OSA's pocket, this YouTube. First of all, it's really shitty and stupid, and it looks wannabe, like it's trying to be professional. But again, I'm not going to say the channel name, but I thought it was interesting. I was like, oh, look at and Alex and more Alex and lots of Alex videos. So I just thought it would be so freaking appropriate to chat with you, not only because you're awesome, but also because you have the protest coming up that I absolutely want to support. I think I've supported every single one of your protests, no matter what was going on in the community. I've always supported you. I think you're freaking awesome. And then I feel that you are doing such a good job in your area, which there's not a lot of people like there is in LA or Clearwater or Chicago, wherever it is, right? So yeah, so thank you, and thank you for chatting with me, and give me your 2 cents of fair gaming and what you feel about all this.
Well, David Miscavige clearly spends a lot more time thinking about me than I do about him. I'll put it that way.
It seems like it.
Yeah, it's been relentless, you know, since I started speaking out. And I think what really started to grind their gears was when I started to get press attention, right? So I've not just been organizing protests, I've also been, you know, liaising and building relationships with journalists at The Guardian, The Daily Mail, The Times, you know, Radar Online, all these big sort of newspapers, and trying to raise public awareness of the harassment and the fair game. And my stance.
You do that on your own?
Yeah, 100%.
Like you're reaching, I mean, for me, it's like I'm doing it, audit's doing it. I learn from audit, and then I'm learning my own ways of things. I'm like keeping, give me the agendas. I want to see the names of every single person. I'll email them personally, you know? So that's really cool. I love that So you're doing it from your end. You're reaching out to the radio stations. You're doing all this.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously they reach out to me as well. I get requests every week from journalists and from TV stations and so on, and podcasts wanting to interview me. But if there's something particular that's happening, like the protest or whatever, I will reach out to journalists that I know and say, hey, you know, would you be interested in covering this? And, you know, sending out press releases for every major piece of news. So, you know, I've been trying to get, for example, the local council have been coming down hard on Scientology's failure to apply for the required permits and that sort of thing for their IES event. You know, that's the story of the council enforcing the rules against Scientology. And that's something the local press are interested in. So that's what really kicked off the fair game for me, was getting the media attention. And from the get-go, it was relentless. You know, I've had over 10,000, you know, posts on social media, attack tweets and so on over the last year or so. It's probably more like 20,000. It got to 10,000 and I stopped counting. It's about 100 a day from various OSA troll accounts. I've got a hate website. I've had my front door kicked in. I've had letters written to my employer, to my landlord, to members of my family. They've tried to get me sacked. You know, I've had to move house. They've obviously got private investigators following me, and they're doing everything they can to try and stop us protesting, you know, in any way. You're muted.
I'm like, yep, as usual. And that is by the book. That's literally Scientology, Sea Org, OSA policies. That's what they do. That's what the Sea Org does. That's what David Miscavige demands and slams out of, you know, with orders out of his, or with his fist, technically, out of its members, out of its executives.
Yeah, the policy says to destroy us utterly. Right, it says maybe tricked, sued, lied to, or destroyed.
Oh my god, I literally just printed that.
Yeah, there we go.
A suppressive person or group becomes fair game. By fair game is meant may not be further protected by the codes and disciplines or the rights of a Scientologist, may be deprived of property or injured by any means by any Scientologist without any discipline of the Scientologist, may be tricked, sued, or lied to, or destroyed. May be deprived of property or injured by any means by any Scientologist without any discipline of the Scientologist, may be tricked, sued, or destroyed.
Exactly. And I just try and throw it back in their face, you know, because the protests that I've organized have always been about stopping the abuse, right? You can, we have freedom of belief and religion in the UK and in the US, right? If you want to be a Scientologist, you want to believe in suppressive people, in Hubbard's tech, if you want to believe that Xenu, the overgalactic warlord, dropped, you know, H-bombs on volcanoes 75 million years ago, you know, you are free to believe that. Nothing against you. I disagree, but you have your belief just as much as I have my belief. But what you can't do, and you don't have a right to do, is abuse people. And so Scientology's response to me saying stop abusing people is to double down on the abuse and to continue harassing and abusing me and other former members. And all it does is make them look bad, right? Because I wouldn't be here talking about it if they just stopped doing it, right?
Right. And that's all it doesn't just make them look bad. They are bad. They're looking like they're good people. They're looking like they're so important or safe or needed or so useful and helpful in the environment or the neighborhood or for the city, when they are literally a complete two-faced organization. They look like they are. They look rich and look strong and look powerful. But sadly, thank God, their tactics are so predictable. They are going to do this. I almost want to be like, I was sort of prepared that this might happen with my job, that because they had already tried shit before. So, you know, it's very interesting. I mean, I can't be, I don't, there's a lot of people that definitely would not be holding up as much as I am, and that I will be through this. And I will be fighting fucking hard and investigating and going harder. Like this, I will go harder protesting. Oh, so let me let you know that you go harder, I go harder. So let's just keep going harder at each other, man.
Yeah,
because you're gonna hurry up and go to court quicker. So
You have to be strong. And this is the thing. Scientology play the long game, and so we have to play the long game. You know, it's to be expected that they'll come after you when you become a critic, when you start speaking out. You know, it's very well documented that they fair game people. But that doesn't mean it should be tolerated. And that's my point about speaking publicly about the harassment, is not to say, oh, you know, pity me, I'm being harassed and I've got these attack tweets like, oh, you know, everybody feel sorry for me. No. I got into this knowing that that's what's going to happen, but that doesn't mean we should allow it to happen. They shouldn't be doing this, right? So my reason for raising awareness is to make sure the public knows that this is what this organization does, and they are using US tax exempt dollars to do this, and that's not okay. And you have to have strength. You know, if you leave Scientology and you share your story once online, they're not going to come after you, right? So if you are an ex-Scientologist or you're someone under the radar, you should feel the confidence to be able to share your story publicly and know that they're not going to fair game you. They don't have the resources to do that anymore. They only start fair gaming you when you start becoming a real problem for them. And so that's not for everybody, right? You have to be prepared for it if that's the path you want to go. And I have full respect for anybody, you know, like you, that is standing up to these bullies and calling them out for exactly who they are.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm learning a lot, going to the city meetings, being able to, you know what it really is doing, Alex? You know what it really honestly feels so much to like be giving the Child X book out and like being able to share the story of a baby all the way up, all the way through my own experience to Dang it, I touched my microphone.
You gave it a touch assist. Yeah, we can hear you.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me or no?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
But I can't hear you. Okay, hold up.
Damn those pesky BTs.
There we go. I heard it click back in. This is pressing is this headphone. This microphone. I have to go to Best Buy and get a new microphone. That's just all there is to it. I'm not fucking around with this shit anymore. Sorry, guys. Give me uno momento. Okay.
And that's why you should donate to Lara to help her get a new microphone.
Let me exit out and then come right back, okay?
Or just
let me make you the star of the show.
Center stage. Wow. The trust Lara has put in me to run her channel for a second. Hello, everybody. I can't pull up comments in the live chat, unfortunately, but I can read them. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. And thank you for sharing the link to the protest website. That was really appreciated. Hi, Gina Freya. How's it going? Super Pup Erica's in the house. Thank you so much for joining. Dort Jower Foos 478 says, I grew up in that madness. You're quite right to speak out about the abuse. Yeah, precisely. I agree. And Laura's back. Yes, that was perfect. Hey. Yes, and also there was another question here for you. Have you met Bearded Wiseman? I don't know if that was. Yeah, I went to Clearwater fairly recently, actually. I met up with him and did an interview. It was great. Yeah, I saw that. That was awesome. So I had to pick that up. And I love Mark and I love everything going on over there. Again, so yeah, talking about the city meetings and things like that, learning, like I'm learning which way I'm taking my life. Mm-hmm. That's pretty powerful. Thank you, OSA. Thank you, Scientology. Literally. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to be, I love it. I'm such an open book at this point. And honestly, Alex, there are not a lot of people like that. There are a lot of people that have old generational behaviors and they are sort of stuck in politics and they're worried about something getting out and they're worried about, and sadly, that's weak. That's weakness in our society, in our political system, because if somebody can be blackmailed, just like Scientology loves to do, then they're able to be swayed and moved, you know, beyond or past the point where it's ethical or where it's not right anymore. It's inhumane. Yeah. And that's what Scientology does all the time. The amount of ways
it may be funny, and some people have no idea what I'm doing when I go to the CPAPS meeting and I'm filming the whole meeting and zooming constantly in on Janet Whelan. Like, there's a fucking reason for that. It is mind-boggling to me still to this day that Janet Whelan, a Sea Org member, now that I'm out in this outside world and everything, that she is literally pretending to be some, like, you know, representative of Scientology that's so happy and wears civilian clothes, which means non-uniform clothes. But in my mind, I'm like, she's a Sea Org member. She knows that, like, wearing civvies is like a privilege, having fun. You're out doing something that's not, like, when she's not on the CPAP board infiltrating the neighborhood in the city and safe pointing the LAPD, she literally is in uniform at the Blue Building, fucking bringing PR people into the Blue Building. We literally catch her while we're protesting. So yeah, my voice gets fired up about this because I'm learning so much that Scientology has been infiltrating and that this will continue to go on until we've been doing all these things that we're doing. And I'm learning through people who have been doing this for other situations. So
exactly. It's all about educating people, right? And so, you know, for example, when the OSA PPRO UK, so the person who's responsible for safe pointing in the UK, when the OSA representative goes to East Grinstead Town Council meetings or the local community fair or whatever it may be, and shakes hands with the mayor and, you know, comes across as this lovely, shiny, happy person that, you know, we're just trying to help the community and we're going to donate £50,000 to the local rugby club and we're wonderful, right? That is literally their job. And when you know, I was saying to a council member, these people aren't allowed mobile phones, they can't leave the property without permission, they go, well, the Scientologists I've met have got mobile phones and they come outside of the property. And I explained, well, yeah, because the people you're meeting are the ones whose job it is to impress you and try and present this facade of what Scientology is like. It's completely not like that. You are only going to meet the Scientologists they want you to meet. Scratch the surface, behind the scenes, this is what's really going on. And that's what I've been trying to do along with the journalism and the protesting stuff, is educating people. Because if you were to say to, you know, a politician, hey, I think you should revoke Scientology's tax exempt status, it's highly likely that politician will go, whoa, that's a big kettle of fish. I'm not sure. It's about religion, not my thing. But if you spend the time educating them on the behaviors and say, look, I'm not asking you to decide what is and isn't a religion. I'm asking you to decide on the abuse of elderly people, on fraud, on deception, coercive control, on forced abortions, familial disconnection. All of these things that Scientology are doing are behaviors. Yes, they're caused by the belief, right? But the first step is educating these politicians. This is what I've been doing anyway, educating the politicians on the behaviors and saying, do you think that's right or wrong first? Then they will build a picture and realize, and then that brings into question the whole beliefs and whether they should be a religion or not. But like, I'm focusing on the behaviors because it's a lot easier to get people to agree that X, Y, and Z is wrong. And you don't have to approach the religion question, right?
Right.
And it's engaging these people to fight and agree with you that these things aren't right and they shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I learned that's one of my biggest things is this isn't, we say this, but this is not a religious issue. Like, boo-hoo us if boo-hoo us if we're upset that, you know, Scientology is a religion. Okay, fine. I can be gratefully mad about that. I have every right. I was a fucking child, whatever, right? That's not what we're upset about. We're upset at the abuses, whether they're a religion or not. That doesn't matter. That the children were neglected, that people were forcing abortions and still are, that people are separated from their family. There are so much abuses going on that have been so normalized. And here in the city, they don't know this shit. The little and if they do know about it, they just go, oh, Scientology does their own thing. Scientology has their own thing.
And the religion thing justifies the behavior and allows them to get away with it. So the religion thing is important, yes, but the religion thing is what allows them to get away with the abuse. And so
Mhm.
if you can get people to start looking at the abuse itself and say, well, hold on, how come they've been allowed to do this, that, and the other? Well, it's because of the religion question. Well, then that brings in to question that tax exempt status, right? But you're not going to get there just from, I mean, if everyone was to write a letter to their state representative, then yeah, maybe we'll get somewhere, right? You know, the biggest YouTube channels in this community that have 250,000 subscribers. Imagine if a US state representative gets 250,000 letters from residents saying you need to revoke Scientology's tax exempt status,
Right.
they'll probably be inclined to look at it. But if you're just one person in, you know, a village somewhere in the middle of nowhere, writing to your state rep is a great thing to do. But even better would be to find, you know, get a meeting with them and have like a, you know, an opportunity to educate them on the abuses. And that's going to go a longer way, I think.
Yes.
But why not do both?
100%.
Write to your state rep and get a meeting, you know? But
Yeah, and
educate
another
them.
thing I'm working on is we're putting out like together an official QR code and all that, where we can work specifically. Everybody can all work on sending everybody to that QR code that is directly to the feds, to the IRS, that is saying
Amazing.
this amount of people have signed, this is their signature, here's their email, and
Right.
anybody can use that and say, please revoke their tax exempt status. So that's
great.
almost like an easy thing. What I
Yeah.
really love and I find very interesting is what you're doing, what Audit's doing, what this is where Scientology has literally built the roots of their organization on the city, on PR, on infiltrating these permits, on everything, on every single. So just seeing that Janet Whelan, for example, will go to her CPAPS meeting, right? The police freaking city meeting, and sits there and knows every single month or every other week who the new officers are coming in, who runs the Northeast area, who's doing, that's her job. So
Yeah.
even if nobody knows who she really is or whatever, she's not doing this voluntarily. She is literally posted, that's a Sea Org Scientology term, posted there as part of her post position where she's only making $47 a week. Let's think about all the legal terms here, okay? Somebody in a cult like Scientology being forced to be on a city neighborhood council board that is only volunteer. You have to be volunteering. You can't be doing it for other agenda. You can't be, you know, I'm sure other people do. But the point is, for this specifically, we know that Janet Whelan is only getting paid $47 a week, that she has a 24-hour schedule that she works on. So for her to be sitting, infiltrating, and on a daily, weekly basis, notifying, and then those orders being run to the volunteer minister, CCHR, David Muscat, all these on what's going on in Los Angeles, what's going on in Hollywood, what's going on, downtown, they're having the big, you know, whatever. Scientology's always involved. They're always involved, and they're always on the, you know, Christmas tree or the Christmas Winter Wonderland parade. They infiltrate themselves into the city so that the city feels like they have to say yes to them. Oh, they've been doing it for so long. Oh, but they put the big Christmas tree. So what? Right above every picture is by L. Ron Hubbard. Like, who wants L. Ron Hubbard's name in their Christmas photo? So it's just like, it's horrible. And nobody talks about it. Nobody openly says, this Winter Wonderland fucking thing that is done, that was manipulated, that literally started from L. Ron Hubbard saying, this is what we're going to do to get people, recruit people in right in the middle of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many references and policies that I've read and I'm learning about it. And then I go to the city and I'm like, how are you guys not listening? They're listening. Now they're listening. And they're going, we're telling them, this is how you can change. This is how the Public Works Department can stop giving L. Ron Hubbard Way 1 million permits a month. Why does Scientology need 5 fucking permits for Halloween and Christmas that they don't celebrate? Only for recruitment, only for these things. So I get stronger in the voice and what I'm saying by going to the sitting meetings, meeting these people, finding, oh, the new position is this. Oh, they're only on the board for this amount of time. there you see Janet Whelan. You see people who are getting angry that are on the boards that want to shut down Scientology, you know, exposing any crimes or these abuses. The moment you speak up, you will see by the way you are shut down by certain people only, that they are the ones who are safe pointed, that are the ones that are tying the Scientology fucking tentacles of existing through the city. That's what, that's how it is in every Clearwater. Anywhere there's Scientology, there's an infiltration in the city.
Yeah, you have to educate yourself on the rules, the laws, the way local government works, and use that to your advantage. You know, one of the things that I did in East Grinstead, so Scientology's UK headquarters is in East Grinstead, Sussex. You know, and the mayor, for example, would often go to the IES event every year and accept a £50,000 check for a charity at this big event. And, you know, speaking to councillors and saying to them, look, and former mayors, accept, you know, an organization donating 50 grand for a charity. Wonderful, great. What's wrong with that? But the person who's giving you the check is a victim of modern slavery, right? That person is not there by free choice. That person is, you know, being potentially trafficked from a different country. That person is being paid £50 a week. If that person says, I don't want to go up on a stage and give the mayor the check, they're going to be punished by the form of the RPF. So yes, you're taking £50,000 for a local charity, but you are also engaging in and supporting and validating modern slavery, right? By doing that. And every time you go up on stage and accept a check, that allows them to continue doing it for another year, because they think we've got the endorsement of the mayor, and therefore we couldn't possibly be trafficking people or keeping people by, you know, modern slavery standards. Like, you have to, so I just got up while you were talking, the US Department of State definition of what is modern slavery. And there are lots of different definitions, but there's one here that says forced labor. Forced labor, sometimes also referred to as labor trafficking, encompasses a range of activities: recruiting, harboring, transporting, providing, or obtaining, involved when a person uses force of physical threats, psychological coercion, abuse of the legal process, deception, or other coercive means to compel someone to work. That is what Scientology do. They are guilty of modern slavery. And if you can educate these council representatives to the matter, to the fact that the people they're engaging in conversation with are victims of modern slavery, you know, it puts the onus on them. Do you want to support modern slavery? I don't think any elected official wants that stamp on their head.
Yep. Exactly. And not only saying like, do you want to support that, but also being like, hey, you know, Mr. Kang, President Kang, you know, he's the president of Public Works. You can pull that up if you want, Alex. If you want to share it, I can pull it up.
Yeah,
I just think it's cool for people. But I was gonna say it's so much interest. Like I gave President Kang the book, Child X book, and I'm doing Jamie's book just because it relates to what I'm trying to get out here in Los Angeles. I mean, if I was in Clearwater, I would be all over Whitney Mills' book, like story, Lisa McPherson, things like that. And when I do go to Clearwater, somebody was asking actually right here, Super Weekend Warrior says, Alex, are you visiting Flag anytime soon? Didn't you just visit?
I was there just a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Honestly, yeah, you would have found it hilarious. I felt like Moses. It was like the parting of the seas, right? I crossed the road and turned the corner, and there's Scientology buildings on either side of the street. And there was a security guard on this side and a bunch of Scientologists on this side. And the security guard was like, get inside. Like all of this crowds of people just disappeared into the buildings, and the street was completely empty. Like the power of an SP, man. SP powers are way better than OT powers, I gotta tell you.
The tables are turning, Tom Cruise. You can always just head on out and be a proud SP. I'm just saying. And yes, exactly. Super Pup Erica said, "Osa or anyone watching that would like assistance to leave and be free, please call us."
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the meetings and everything are so important. I like being able to give the book to the board and be like, or go to LAPD, the meeting, and being like, okay, here is the evidence. This is not just like, you know, me being like, oh, please read the book. This is part of my public comment. So this is for the record. Like, if you're not going to get the record straight, I'm going to make sure that this book that has factual information of children in Scientology and their behaviors from the 70s, 80s, and 90s to today, like, no, this needs to be on the record. Who's going to do that? Nobody is. Our parents didn't do it. Our family's not doing it. If any of them do, they're getting threatened. They're getting sued. They're getting, you know, whatever it is. They're getting unalived. There's trust being built just to freaking expose these crimes of Scientology. So I don't see not even one speck of a reason, sorry, you under the ground insider Scientologists, why Scientology would need to be around ever. Why anything L. Ron Hubbard has stolen from other people and twisted to make his own concoction of fucked up, manipulative, psychological, like, madness, calling it auditing, then that's on you. Like, go read some fucking poisonous, like, killer people. Like, I don't know, like, that's another library book, you know, shelf. But, like, why, first of all, why is nobody if Scientology is going to be allowed in our society to be a thing, or to be a cult, or to be a organization, whatever it is, it does not mean that they can be illegal. Nobody else is allowed to legally be illegal. So, and they are.
And that's the difference between beliefs and behaviors. Like, if you want to believe that the grass is blue and the sky is green, be my guest, right? That doesn't hurt anyone. Similarly, if you want to believe that auditing is a way of helping somebody, great, you can believe that. But as soon as you put a child into an auditing session and children can't consent, you are forcing those beliefs upon someone else, and therefore you are engaging in a behavior which is potentially abusive. And that's the problem. You can believe in Scientology, the tech, Hubbard's writings, but as soon as you start implementing them in your life, and it starts affecting other people and harming people, that's when it becomes a problem, right? And that's what I'm trying to do, is educate people on the fact that, you know, you can believe that you're going to come back next lifetime and finish your SEAL contract. You can believe that you're helping people, great. But as soon as you enter into that contract and you decide, actually, this isn't for me, I want to leave, and you're prevented from leaving without interrogations, and you've been paid $50 a week for however many years, and therefore have nothing to fall back on, and so therefore you can't leave, and all of your family will disconnect from you if you do leave. Like, that's behaviors that are a result of the beliefs, and those behaviors are the problems, right?
Yeah. Or like, even thinking that when you do leave, you don't want to contact your non-Scientology family members, because it would be out PR to let them know that you have zero money because you came out of a cult who did all these things. You already are pre-programmed to know when you leave, do not tell them the cult you were in, literally. So
Gina
it's hard.
Freya just made a really good comment. Gina says it's psychological warfare. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
100%. And then you do it to yourself. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's crazy. Okay, so let's talk about the protest, the whole protest for the 31st. Everybody pay attention.
Yeah, muster. Come on, guys.
Muster up, roll call. Who's here? Everybody here? We're all here. Put a protest sign in the chat if you're here, or goldenrod heart.
What we got a Chinese school this, Lara. What's the motto of the protest group? We come back. We come back. We come back. So look, you guys probably already know what the IES event is, but very briefly, IES is International Association of Scientologists. It's the official membership body of the Church of Scientology. So if you want to do services in a Scientology org, you have to be a member of this IES, and membership costs, I think it's $500 for a year or $5,000 for a lifetime membership. There's like a tiered donation system. So the more money you donate, the more trophies and awards and stuff that you get. So the official membership body of the Church of Scientology get together every year at St. Hill, Scientology's UK headquarters here in the UK, down in East Grinstead in Sussex. Miscavige flies over and gives like a 3-hour speech.
Feel free to pull up anything you want, any pictures, and I can share it.
Thank you. Yeah, I wasn't prepared, but I'll get some stuff up. But basically, it's this big event. Miscavige flies over and gives a 3-hour speech about how Scientology is saving the world and all of this, and people donate lots of money. It's a 3-day affair. The first day is the main event. The second day is the patrons ball, which is a fancy black tie dinner where people donate lots of money and get their trophies. And then the Sunday is the charity concert where the mayor goes and accepts the £50,000 check. It's happened every year for the last 3 years. I've organized a protest outside the gates of St. Hill to coincide with this. And our message is really simple. The abuse has to stop. And every year they try and throw things our way to try and prevent us or disrupt us as protesters. The first year we got in the Guardian, the Daily Mail, Tom Cruise flew in on a helicopter, and it was quite a big protest. Second year, Scientology applied for a public spaces protection order, essentially a protest ban. They wanted to ban protesting because they said we were causing antisocial behavior, we were harassing people and so on. So the council sent observers last year to watch and monitor our protest and assess whether we were doing any of the things Scientology claimed. And they produced a very lengthy report. It was a year of my life and lots of money spent fighting this thing, defending our right to protest. And it resulted in the council voting that a protest ban is not necessary because our demonstrations are well organized, they are peaceful, there is no evidence of antisocial behavior or unlawful activity or harassment or anything. We organize the protest in liaison with the local authority, with law enforcement, highways, and so on to make sure it's all legal and above board. We protest with kindness and compassion at the forefront. And indeed, all of the issues Scientology were complaining about are actually because of Scientology's event and their poor event and traffic management itself. So that really annoyed Scientology. And of course, now they're pulling out all the stops to try and prevent us protesting this year. They've got a license to erect hoarding, like fencing all along the verge where we gather. They've planted a hedge on the opposite side of the road. And just last night, I received a cease and desist letter from the Church of Scientology warning me that if I continue making videos and posting things online and protesting, they will file a lawsuit against me. So I responded in kind and said, well, look, if you want me to cease and desist protesting, I suggest that you cease and desist abusing people. And I'd be more than willing to meet with you to discuss.
And no, any response yet?
I have got a response. Yes, I haven't shared it publicly yet. I've sent it to my lawyer, and we'll be seeing there what the appropriate response will be to that within the next day or so.
That's great.
Nonetheless, our motto is we come back, and regardless of what they throw at us, whatever they try, we're going to be there. We have a right to protest. We have a right to free speech. And, you know, it just proves our point even more that these are people that need to be held to account. And there needs to be greater awareness that this organization will do anything to try and stop protesters. They will weaponize the legal system. They will weaponize the internet to try and stifle free speech and attack us. And the more they do that, the more I'm going to shout about it and shine the light straight back onto them.
Yep. Same with me. And that's how it feels. They really are. It's really disturbing. Like coming from the aspect, even from you being like, hey, I came in to Scientology wanting to help and, you know, do this, and I had good intentions. And then this is what's happening when you're helping and you're giving good intentions and you're feeling like, I thought I muted this. Hold on. There we go. You feel like you're starting to see like, wow, it's really disturbing, mentally disturbing to see a Scientology organization have so much hate and so much, what is it? Like, resentment, remorse. I don't know what it is. To have the organization attack an individual who once came in to do better.
Yeah. And that's the point, right? So when I was a kid when I joined Scientology, right? And I wasn't raised in Scientology, but I was a kid and I was in a vulnerable point, and I was absolutely victim to their manipulation, their deception, and so on. And I got to the point where I fully believed that this was the only way of helping mankind. Now I'm on the other side of it, and I realized that, you know, I thought I was helping people back then. I wasn't. I was manipulating people. I was emotionally abusing people, because in order to recruit someone, my job was director of public book sales. I was getting people to join Scientology. You have to emotionally manipulate someone's vulnerabilities to sell them the book. I thought I was helping. What I was actually doing is harming. I didn't realize that at the time, but now I do. And now with the activism that I've been doing, promoting the Aftermath Foundation and giving people a support network and raising public awareness, this is actually helping people. And it feels good, right, to be a part of that. But most importantly, I just think it's the right thing to do. If you have an opportunity to share your story, to give other people a platform, to raise awareness, take it, right? Because yeah, they're going to fair game you and try and sue me and, you know, knock my front door down and try and get me sacked and all of this other stuff. But so what, right? That's a small price to pay for the freedom of being an ex-Scientologist and for the help that I could potentially give to other people who are also currently falling victim to their tactics.
That's exactly how I feel. I feel like I also just feel like no matter, you know, we're all going through this. We're all learning. I've gotten so much better as a protester. I've gotten so much better as, you know, being clear with my words. I've gotten better with not drinking alcohol when I'm fucking in the middle of like a major meltdown or a trauma, you know, trigger or whatever it is. Yeah. Things like that. You just learn. I've learned. We're all learning. And so
and loving.
You can really learning and loving, but you can really feel when an organization, that's what I was getting back about the Scientology feeling of like, wow, you guys are so fucked up. Like, I was a child born and raised in this. My whole childhood, technically, I was begging to leave and do something else. I was begging to be an artist. I was begging to just be that free spirit that y'all want, that, you know, sadly, that the Sea Org members that I go and when I'm protesting or auditing Scientology, they recognize me and I'm like, oh, hey, aren't you? Yeah, because I knew everybody at some point. I was in LA, I was at Gold Base, I was in Clearwater, I ran for the Lisa McPherson. So like, it just at every point. So it's like, I'm your mistake, Scientology. And when you get to understand that, you're going to find out your mistake can be such a beautiful thing. I don't see that in Scientology, but I do feel it in the members. I feel like they can become unscientologized or whatever the word is.
And let's not forget, there definitely are bad people in Scientology, right? Danny Masterson, prime example. I am not saying in any way that all Scientologists are good people, but the majority of Scientologists, I believe, are well-intentioned people that have fallen victim to Scientology's lies, manipulation, coercion, and deception, right? Most Scientologists think that what they're doing is helping the planet. They think they are doing the best thing they could possibly do for humankind, right? Even when they're attacking us, they think they're doing it because they're justified and they're right in doing it. It's best for everybody that they attack us, in their opinion. And they don't realize that they're wrong, right? And the best thing that you can do, I believe, is offer a hand and say, hey, look, I'm not trying to tell you what to believe. I'm not trying to tell you you're wrong, but if/when you ever decide you want to leave, if/when you ever have any doubts, no matter what you say or do, I will be there for you. Give us a call. I will pick you up or get someone else to pick you up, and we will help you set up a life outside of Scientology. No questions asked, right? And that's, I think, the best thing you can do is just be that stable datum, as they call it.
Yeah, totally. And also be... I don't know where this comes from, but meet them where they are, because I feel like that always, it's like if you meet somebody where they are, then you're not going to waste your time trying to like cope with them or like trying to like you're going to go where they are and be like, okay, what would be the next level from like if a child, okay, so you can walk up the steps now. Okay, cool. So then maybe the next thing will be to jump before you go, whatever it is.
People used to come in when I was book selling, right? So I would be at the Queen Victoria Street, the London Org, or Tottenham Court Road. People would come in all the time and be like, Xenu, you're in a cult, you know, you believe in aliens. Or they'd be like, hey, you know, I know you're in a cult, blink twice if you want to get out, you know. And as a Scientologist, I used to think, you are absolutely insane. You clearly have no idea what Scientology actually is, because I'm here because I want to be. I've signed a volunteer contract. And, you know, if you really knew what Scientology was, you wouldn't think these things. So I'm going to try really hard now to prove you wrong, that Scientology isn't what you think it is, right? It actually drove me further into the belief system. And so there is a value in, you know, warning people it's a cult that stops people joining. But for people who are currently in Scientology, you know, that sort of messaging, for me at least, it didn't get through to me. But if someone had come in and said, hey, Alex, how's your relationship with your mum since joining Scientology? That would have got me thinking. I wouldn't have walked out the door straight away, but it would have planted a seed of doubt. And that's what we try and do with the IES protests, is have messages on our placards that say things like, when was the last time you saw your family? They love you, and so do we. Questions like, if Scientology is expanding, why is your org empty, right? If Scientology is as great as you've been told, why did the Charities Commission rule that it doesn't benefit the public? Questions that get people thinking, right? That's what we try and do the IS protest anyway. And I'm not saying that's the right way and other ways are wrong ways. That's just what we do.
That is the wrong way, Alex. My way is the right way.
Everyone has their own way.
But there's different situations too. That's what I was going to say. So there's always different. There's literally different situations, even at the Blue Building by myself.
Yeah.
There's different situations. Like, there's somebody who I'm communicating to that's like crawling up the stairs, that's falling apart in the wheelchair. And I'm like, you're fucking literally like struggling with their suitcase, just trying to make sure they don't lose their suitcase, getting out of the wheelchair. I'm like, put the fucking suitcase down. Like, I'm like, those body things, you know, so there's certain ways. There are certain ways, but there's also
you've got to remember is always remember that you don't know the ins and outs of the person you're speaking to's story, right? That person struggling with a suitcase, right? You never know. They could have books in that suitcase that they are returning for a refund because they've decided they want to leave. But they know that if they speak to you, there's no way they're getting the money back, and, you know, they've got to just ignore you. So kindness and compassion goes a very, very long way. Because you never know what they're going through. And as long as you can make them aware that you're there to support and help them, make sure that you're educating them on the dangers and the fact that they have free choice and so on. I think it all contributes. There's no right or wrong way. The more people we have in this fight, giving their own perspective, their own methods, all of this, it all adds up, right? And it hits different people in different ways, a different messaging, and it all helps. There's no right or wrong way.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely wrong ways. I can definitely say that. But there's also points where Jenny Lindstein was fucking driving by, and I'm not going to be like, oh, Jenny, we would love to have you out. Like, there's just like no way, where I'm like, no, she's one of the most evil under, whether she's under the spell or the cancer, whatever it is of Scientology, in Scientology, she's one of the most evil, like, I'm smiling and everything's great and I look like I'm so pretty and I'm just covered up with makeup, like literally like evil conductors. She's the one running it all. So I'm sitting there like, Jenny, the FBI is waiting for you to come out here and report turn yourself in.
That's holding people accountable, which is also really important, right? Extending that helping hand and offering kindness and compassion is one thing that we need to do. But we also need to hold people accountable for the crimes that they're doing, right? Or have done, or the abuse and the harm that they are causing. It's not one or the other. You have to do both. And if you leave Scientology, I fully believe that you should be given a chance to set up a new life outside of the church, but you should also feel it's your duty to report the crimes that you're aware of and hold yourself accountable for what you did in the church, and also raise awareness of what you know about or witnessed while you're in the church. You have to do all three. You don't have to become an activist, a critic, a protester, but you do have a duty to report what you know.
Yeah, but also, absolutely. I think that it also takes time, even for people when they leave the Sea Org. they're not definitely just like, oh, I'm not a Scientologist. It takes years, and they're afraid, and they're not allowed to look, and things like that. So either way, sometimes that's where I'm like, sometimes, you know, making a joke to the security guard, like, hey, Alexander, you know, you and your wife, you can jump, as I'm driving my van with all the protest, you know, anti-Scientology, you know, with the aftermath signs on there, things like that, being like, you know, we'll help. I'm like, Alexander, for real though, I would let all this go if you wanted to leave right now. You and your wife can jump in the van right now.
Yeah.
And it just
jump in the van.
Funny. Get in the van. It's like this literal, like, fun hippie van. Anyway, so things like that are great, but it's also making me, again, going back to the city and all of that, it makes me, it's so healing. There's something about it where it's healing the unheard child. It's healing. I don't know if it's because I'm doing something about it, you know. I don't know if it's because I'm seeing where the laws went wrong, where we were neglected as children, things like that.
You know what I think it is, Lara? Right? This is my assessment of the journey I've gone on. I think that feeling comes from you finding your own power again, because you are the one deciding what you're going to do, what you're going to say. Exactly. Like all of those things, it feels healing, I think, because it's evidencing to yourself that you have your power back over this organization. They don't control you anymore. And that's like the best feeling.
It feels, I smile when you say that, because I'm like, that's true. Like, we forget that that's like, because it's such a normal thing in the world that people think they have control over their lives. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I really do. I don't need my mom's permission anymore. I don't need my dad's permit. Like, it's so wild. And that's such a silly thing, my mom, my dad. But to have a whole organization, imagine if, like, the world could, if anybody in this chat right now or anybody listening, if you could just pause your life and say, oh, I choose to not be part of any of these rules, and everybody else can just do this, and I choose to be in this world where this is what I prefer. Like, it's insane. No, like that, like this, that's so selfish. Like, that's so anti-humanity. And so, like, there's no way a world, if everybody's doing that, is going to ever exist. It will become hell, or whatever people want to believe, right? So, anyways, so I just think it's really cool that we're both getting hardcore fair gamed, and we both have very big upcoming protesting. Yours is coming up, and then there's some stuff coming up that I don't want to say yet until it's all official and done. But we're going to be watching for sure. If there's anybody randomly who happens to want to, you know, throw me in on those miles and fly me out there, I will do it. You know me, I'm a rock star. I'll take the overnight flight.
We would love to have you here, Lara.
I would do it, and I would behave so well. And I think I could put on such a beautiful little accent that maybe they think I'm naturally there. Maybe they're just like, I think she's been off in Australia for a while, but she really is from here. Okay. But yeah, that would be really fun. But who knows, if not this year, then next year, and whatever. So yeah. And again, somebody mentioned something about Clearwater. I'm down to go to Clearwater. I would love to go to Clearwater, and I will. Like, maybe next month I'll be in Clearwater protesting. Like, it just, I'm going with life right now. Exactly. I'm going. Exactly. I might be, who knows, I might be in England in 3 days.
Bring it on.
Right?
That's what I say.
What, 28, 29, 30, 3 days. 3 days until the first. Technically Friday. Like 2 days, right? Yeah. For you.
So we're protesting Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday's the big day. I just saw a comment here from Super Pup Erica. Alex, what's the best way for people to support the upcoming IES protest? Firstly, thank you for sharing a link to the protest website. That's great. I always say the number one way of supporting the protest is by liking, commenting, sharing on YouTube, sharing this video, the videos that people have done about the protest on YouTube, share it on other social media platforms. Like, engagement online is the best way of helping, because it gets more people aware of what's going on, and it engages more people to support the protest. If you want to support financially, there's links on the protest website to, you know, buy me a coffee and PayPal and stuff, where you can help donate towards protest things. But the best way of supporting is honestly to spread the word. Word of mouth is key. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And Love It says, Alex, remind us stateside time protest, what time the protest starts. So it's this weekend, right? For all of us, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah. Friday, I think the live stream will probably start at about 10:30 in the morning, Eastern time. You're muted again.
I feel like you use too many English terms there. 30:30,
10:30 a.m. Eastern.
Thank you. Wow. And
Friday.
Can we even say Los Angeles time or California?
And we'll be live streaming all day as well. So we'll be 10:30 a.m. Eastern. That's 2:30. We'll be live streaming probably for like 5-6 hours, right? So anytime during the day, pop in. Jump in the live.
And the best thing to do, guys, as well, I'm sure most of you already have it set if you're following Apostate Alex, but make sure go to the bell on the notifications and just make sure that it's on all so that whenever he pops up, maybe he runs into the restaurant, eats, and then he's out again. Like, you want to stay tuned. Last time shit was going down and he won his case because he was live streaming and showed everybody else, nope, we're being completely really amazing. And we were all in the chat to see it. And so it was really awesome. And it feels like we're there with you. So if magical spirit wants to jump out for this one and get me a flight overnight over there, then we'll do it next time. But we will be in the chat with you there for sure.
Thank you, Lara. And I appreciate it. And thank you as well for everything that you're doing over there. You know, we're in 2 different countries with 2 different cultures, 2 different like legislation systems and legal systems. But you know, everybody who is doing something in the protest world is important, valued, and helpful. And whether you are somebody who's just watching a live stream and commenting on the live chat, please know that that is just as helpful as somebody who is standing there in person protesting on the side of the road. They're different, but it all helps. And thank you, Lara, for finding your voice and, you know, becoming such a great activist. You know, I appreciate it and it inspires me, and we've got to work together as a team, right?
Yeah. Thank you so much. And we do. And I love it. And thank you all. And really quick, Erica, Gina said, Erica, did Lara get her bracelet? I'm going to pick it up at 5:30 from the
SP bracelet.
No, it's this sweet bracelet that I got on L. Ron Hubbard Way from the Day of the Dead event they were doing. Cool. So I just felt bad that nobody was buying anything. But then I really found this awesome bracelet. I was just like, I don't know, this is fire. It looks literally like a silver bracelet with like, it's like a kind of like a triangle shape, like fire, like glowy. Anyways, it's awesome. I'll show you when I get it. But yeah, there you go. Okay, thank you guys so much. Awesome, Alex. Love to you all. Thank you all for being here. You all rock. And go support Alex for sure this weekend on the live stream. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you so much. Proud SP.
Get that voice warmed up.
La 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 la. Go power Thetans.
Go power Thetans. All right, good. There we go. Bye. Far from home. I love me up when I'm down. I love me close when I'm all alone. Safe, far from home. Hold me up when I'm feeling down. Hold me close when I'm all alone. Keep me safe, far from home. Hold me up when I'm feeling down. Hold me close when I'm all alone. Keep me safe, far from home.